Hi, I am JP Giacomini and I created this competition. This video is about the first competition we did in Portugal. It is a very exciting thing that riders are getting quite enthused about. We're going to see the format we used then, which is the one that I want to use to get started here in America. We had a 2-day clinic for the purpose of instruction and everybody getting used to the test and the obstacles, followed by a schooling show. And as you can see, we have some young horses pretty fresh about it, but by the end of the 2 days they were all in tune with the program. Now this competition was in Portugal, so the majority of the horses here are Lusitanos or part-bred Lusitanos, because that's what there's the most in that country. And the Portuguese riding is the tradition that those people prefer and shows to show, but in every country this is different. We had some very good rider there, like Nuno Palma, who was a lead rider for the Portuguese School of Equestrian Art and since became a rider for the testing station at Traquena. He is a pas de deux in preparation, and a young rider was, I think he was 12, was the youngest one we had there. So we helped work on those horses. We had all sorts of levels, from completely green horses to more advanced horses and riders, and I gave them a little hand on the 2 days before the event. The notion that helped me create this competition is that I felt very strongly that horsemanship is an important thing that must be developed regardless of breed and regardless of dress, and that the horses should be judged on the quality of their training more than the quality of their gaits, which is mostly a genetic thing. Here we see riders learning the obstacle course with the rings and all of those other things, and getting ready for the Sunday competition with the usual shampoo and cleanup and dress up and all the things that you people who are familiar with horse shows are used to see. We're now on the Sunday, ready for the show. Here's Mr. Luis Valença, the director of the very famous school in Portugal, with his wife. His daughters were participating there, and we were blessed with the national television of Portugal covering.
Our equestrian tradition is in the spotlight again by Frenchman J.P. Giacomini. His goal to organize a worldwide horsemanship competition. Let's take a look.
And making quite lengthy mention of it in the 8 o'clock news. So we have a different division. Here's the sole representative of the junior division doing his compulsory test. The compulsory test can be presented in what we call working clothes, so standard clothes, not extremely adorned, as you will see, for instance, for some of the Portuguese riders wearing the 15th century French habit. The low school level introduces all the gymnastic of dressage, all the lateral movement, the shouldering, the half passes in every direction, and little by little things get more and more complicated. The gaits at low school vary between working and medium, and only later we go from collected to extended. This is the intermediate level, where things become more complicated already. Half pass to circle to shoulder in, for instance, as we see here, Alfred Conde. And the horse is ridden in his natural gait without trying to make an increasingly artificial cadence that this horse does not naturally offer. And here's his medium trot. That's a different horse. At every level, we have compulsory tests, 4 or 5 per level, and at the top of the test we have the championship test, in which we can have a freestyle. In the freestyles we have different options, can be presented by one rider, 2, 3, or 4. So we see here a freestyle at the intermediate level performed in the pas de deux. 2 riders, the horses are father and son, doing mirror extended trot on the diagonal, and pair canter. This was a very good performance by those 2 very experienced riders. Another individual riders doing the compulsory test at the advanced level, high school level, doing changes on the circle and canter pirouette. This is already more complicated. The particularity of the TM managed classes in the judging is that we have a performance sheet that judges the way each movement is performed, as well as a horsemanship score, which would be the the usual group marks, and those are much more detailed than we're used to, having a very big importance. We give them a third of the total marks of the test. So the way of riding ends up influencing the test for 1/3, and the way the test itself is written for 2/3. Here's a freestyle at the high school level, and we have incorporated the movements that have been discarded by the FEI, such as levade and Spanish walk and so on. And you see here pirouette and piaffe. That is one of the optional movements for the freestyle at high school, soon followed by another piaffe and a classical levade. Very good. And the 1-tempies, who are also in the freestyle test. In the compulsory test, the most difficult tempies are only the 2 tempies, because we feel that there's not every horse can do 1 tempi, and we're leaving this for the riders who feel more comfortable with it for their freestyle. Now here's another freestyle, with this time a pas de trois, performed by the riders of the Portuguese School of Equestrian Art on 3 Alta Real stallions. Those riders are extremely experienced, as they do this pas de trois quite often in public exhibition all over Europe. It was an excellent choreography and extremely well together. The school of the Portuguese School of Equestrian Art was renewed in 1979, after 200 years of disappearance from the public view. They are representing the tradition of the Picaria Real, who was developed at its highest point by the Marquess of Marialva at the end of the 18th century. And the costume they're wearing is the uniform inspired by this period, with the tricorn hat and the French habit, and the stockings above their knee. And and they wear leggings instead of, well, this time they still had boots, but since that they have been wearing leggings with small boots. 3 pirouettes simultaneously is quite a difficult movement. And again the same to the right. And their final entry at the collected trot. Now we will show you the versatility competition here performed by the young rider. With the lance is hitting the stafermo, which is an exercise that was done by military training in the courts in the 15th to the 18th century, and going around bending poles. The whole idea is that though it is against the clock and a series of obstacles, there is slow movements alternating with fast movement, so it doesn't turn into a mad dash like Gymkhana. Now this rider here is entered in the combined trial, which means that he's done the compulsory test, and now his result also will reflect what he did on the versatility course. Goes over the bridge and enters the castle and saves the prisoner, who gets on the back of his horse. For insurance reasons, we may not do that in the States. Here's another rider performing the combined trial at the advanced level, so he's doing a more advanced test with 2 tempies. And here is performing the versatility test. Putting that lance into that tiny hole in the barrel is not a bit easy, as you can tell, and requires a lot of control of the horse. Those 3 bending poles were replacing a gate because we didn't have one there at the first event, and throwing darts to a target, which is again a 17th, 18th century exercise. Go over the bridge and saves the prisoner, who was quite willing to be saved. This is the trophy for the permanent challenge trophy. It's a beautiful bronze that I did in one of my moments of more artistic moment. And we come to the end of this short presentation. Please get in touch with us if you want more information and read about the test. Thank you all.